Hi, I'm Chris and welcome back to my next video build series. And with this one we're going to start with this AMT kit 67 Chevelle prostreet gasser. Now this is going to be my first AMT kit. I've heard many horror stories, I've heard some not so bad stories, and I think this is a fairly new release one. You'll see in a little while under the body shell it says 2014. But I'm not sure. I don't really know too much about them, unfortunately. But as you can see, the box art's yeah, pretty good. There's a bit of information on both sides. On one side there was the fully built display model. You can see the inside, the engine, the bottom, the underneath. They seem to be quite detailed when it comes to the engine side of things. And there's the bottom of the box. Got some bits of information. And this is a pretty cool feature because it's not something I've seen before. You don't see it on you don't see it on any Tamiya or Yoshima kits or anything like that with all this information on the bottom. Especially with, as you can see just to the right, we'll have a look in a sec, all the parts listed in the box, which is a pretty cool idea. You get to see what you're getting in the box before taking it from the shop. You know, you don't have to open it, so that's a pretty cool idea. And as you can see from the bottom of this box, there doesn't seem to be too much going on the inside, but we'll get this box open and we'll get all the bits out of the bags and then we'll take a look at what's what. So the first thing we'll look at is the instruction book. I say it's less of a book, more of a poster. It folds out then folds out again. Yeah, this is going to be, it's not bad an idea if you've got a nice big workspace, but when you've got a little workspace like myself, I much prefer the smaller booklets where you can fold them in half and whatnot. But this it looks to be fairly detailed, and as you can see, this is what I mean about the engines of the AMT kits. It reminds me slightly of the Chevelle Cuda I built not so long back. The detail on the engines, it's really quite impressive. I just hope they go together as well as what they look. As you can see, there's a fair bit going on. There's not a ton of parts, like I've mentioned already, but there seems to be like a fair amount going on. There's the Bodywork Assembly. It looks like you can have the hood or bonnet, depends where you're from, in a couple of different ways. You've got your list of paint colours all down there. But true to my style, I'll be going my own colourways. A few bits of information, a bit more assembly. You can see it just there as well, the velocity stacks on the engine. I think I've got a bit of an idea of what I want to do with that. So I'm not too keen, as you can see on that hood there, bonnet, the scoop. It's a bit too much for myself, so we'll see how we get on. So here with this sprue, as you can see, there's a lot of the engine parts and the bonnet. It looks like some of the wishbone suspension possibly next to it, and you see what I mean by the detail inside the engine and whatnot. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, to be fair. And you've got a few suspension bits, I think, and then you've got the firewall at the top of the sprue there. Just looking at this bonnet, and you can see the marking underneath there, to make it easy of use to cut that out if you was going to fit the scoop, or if you wanted to leave it solid, like as you can see it there. And like I said, again, just looking at some of these engine parts, the battery, and a few of the little bits and bobs, and it's looking good. With this sprue, as you can see, you've got the door cards, not much going on. And there's no back seats by the look of it. It's just it's a rear seat delete as such. Nice big Chevy emblem. It'd be nice to try and detail that up if I can. A fairly simple plain dash, and those what look like possibly back of the wheel hubs, maybe, possibly. Just a tiny sprue, this one, just a tiny sprue with the intake for the bonnet. Pretty plain and simple. Now on this sprue we've got some of the exhaust pipes, we've got some roll cage. The exhaust pipes doesn't look like they've got an opening at the back. The seats with moulded in seat belts, a big old steering wheel. Let's have a look at that. A bit of flash. I think that's, to be fair, I think that's the worst bit of flash I've seen in this kit. The rest of it, there is bits of flash here and there, and you'll see on one of the seats in a minute there's a little bit of flash just on the right seat there on the headrest. But other than that, there's not been too much flash, to be fair, in this kit. I've been pretty happy with that. You've got the drive axle by the looks of it, and you've got the roll cage, and what looks like a parachute bag at the top to fit on the back. Obviously pretty suited to the American drag style. But just looking at them exhausts there, the exhaust tips, even though they're solid, it looks like with a little tiny bit of work, you could quite easily cut a little bit of an opening up and give them the open exhaust look, you know, to give it a little bit more realism. So luckily enough, I don't think it's going to take too much work. Now the clear parts, there's not many clear parts at all, and that I don't mind, but these will be staying in the bag until I need them to make sure they don't get any scratches as such. Now the next sprue tree we're going to be looking at is the chrome one. Now I will be honest, quite a lot of this will have its chrome removed. I'll get the old bleach bath out and get all the parts dunked and get the chrome stripped off, especially on a lot of the engine parts. I just find this chrome is a little bit too toy-like, you know, very plasticky. I'd much rather take all the chrome off and get like a metallic silver spray or something, and give them a bit of a more natural metallic look. The wheels, again, as you can see, they just look a little bit toyish, so but they'll be coming off. They won't be chrome, I don't think. I've still got plenty of ideas going on. I've just got to try and figure out what I want to do. Now onto the chassis as such. You can kind of see it in the light there. There's a textured surface for the interior. Obviously a lot of cars I've worked on, you have the interior tub where it glues straight on, but that looks like it's actually you're building on top of that. You probably won't see the texture. I might do a little bit of flocking. I've seen a lot of people working on AMT kits where the actual chassis frame itself is separate, but as you can see here, it's all moulded in as one. It's a shame it's got that little trademark GM logo there. I might sand that bit out. And these are the tyres. So these are the drag tyres with the already printed Goodyear, pretty good quality to be fair. Drag slicks, and then we've got just the normal road going, big old chunky tyres these. Undecided on what I want to use yet, to be fair. But as you can see there, these have got the tread on. You've got the drag slicks. I'm not sure which one I want to use. And the front tyres, the tiny skinny things. I don't know too much about American cars. I'm more of a JDM man, but I do see a lot of drag cars with the smaller tyres on the front. Now to the body shell itself, it's not too bad of a quality to be fair. It is very reminiscent of the Revel Cuda body I built. It feels a lot thicker, a lot sturdier and stronger than other body shells that you know when you're working on a Tamiya or an Aoshima. They seem to be pretty thin. This, I don't know if it's just me or not, but I just feel like it feels much thicker, much more sturdier, but it could be a little bit of a problem when trying to get it all together, because you've got to work out a little bit harder to prise the side skirts open at the bottom to get that chassis frame in as such. And to be fair, it's not too bad flash-wise. There's not too much going on. You could just see there with the light on the underside, the markings, hopefully after a bit of priming and stuff, won't really be seen. We'll see, I might see if I can take the markings off one way or another. See if I just sand them away. But if sanding them away, I'm at risk, because it's like, again, there's like the design of the roof liner as such. You can see it in the light there, moulded into the roof of the car. Not that I detail up the inside of the roof of the car much, but yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure. I might try and get rid of that. And here we've got a V8 distributor cap with ignition wire, and obviously, as you can tell, it's not part of the actual AMT kit itself, but truth be told, I was gifted the AMT kit along with this Dizzy wire and a few other bits and bobs from a buddy of mine over on Instagram called Stoner Scale Models. I will drop his tag in the description, so you can go over on Instagram, check out his page, follow him. He does some brilliant work. His weathering is fantastic, and funnily enough, he's watched me build all these Tamiya and Aoshima kits, and he wanted to watch me suffer building an AMT kit, and we've both got the same, and we're going to be doing a buddy build off. So make sure you follow both myself and him to see how both of our completely different builds will turn out. One will be nice and neat, one will be weathered and grubby. As I'm sure you've all seen from my previous builds, who's going to be doing the neater version of this kit. So it's going to be interesting to see the same kit with two very, very different end results. So do make sure you follow my Instagram. Obviously I'll be posting the video builds of it up on here as well. And don't forget to, over on Instagram as well, follow Stoner Scale Models. Again, I'll drop his tag in the description below, so you can see both of the same kits being built in two very, very different ways. And for this, I'm very, very excited for it, and I can't wait. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Cheers.